Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Debbie and this is my crafty den, and thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. And if you are a returning viewer, then welcome back. I appreciate all you viewers, every one of you, and I have something new today. I think it's going to be an experiment, so yeah, I've been wanting to try to make a glue book. I have this Vasi Seed catalog from this year. I've ordered out of it. I've got the stuff that I wanted. This was the spring catalog, of course. And yeah, so it's done. It's done. And I was going to toss it. And it's full of these. Oh my gosh, it's so full of these pretty, like, gorgeous pictures. So I think what I'm going to do instead of doing that is I'm going to cut this down to size. So what I'm going to do, I think, is cut it down, and then I'm going to rip out the pages that I don't want, because there's like 150 pages in here. And yeah, I want this picture for the front. I want a muted version of this picture. It is so gorgeous. And why not, if it's going to be a gardening journal and a glue book kind of thing slashed together, I think is what I'm trying to say. A gardening glue book? Can we make that a thing? A gardening glue book journal. Yeah, that's what it's going to be. So I want all the wording to be gone off the front. So I think I'm going to cut it across here. I'm going to cut it down here, and I'm going to cut it across here, taking off all the wording and leaving as much of the picture intact as I can, which will be really awesome as well. So I'm going to do that, and I'll get back to you. Now, to cut this, I'm just going to get a box cutter, and I'm going to use my metal ruler, and I'm going to put my ruler on like this, and then just using light cuts, I'm going to work my way through until I've got everything gone that I want gone. There, so I have this cut down, and I'm quite happy with the way it looks. It doesn't look completely square to me, but on my cutting mat, it lines up perfectly. So it may just be the way the picture is making it look to me. But so this is what I have. I want my cover to be kind of a hard cover. And to do that, I have, what do I have here? I have a rice box, which is a nice, it's a fairly thick cardboard. So I am going to measure this. So when I open my cover, there's this about 1/4 inch of space here. And so I am going to measure from the edge of the cover to the edge of the book. So this ended up being about 5.5 by 6.5 inches. That's good. That's good. It's just a nice, tidy little size. So I'm going to cut a piece of cardboard that fits in here. And what my plan is I'm thinking that I can just pull pages until I can put my cardboard in here and this lays flat. Then I'm going to glue this to the cardboard to give this stability here and make this like a cardboard cover. I don't know if it'll work or not. It could just be a bomb and I could be ruining the whole thing, but that's what I'm going to try. I'm just going to grab my paper trimmer and do some cutting. So this is going to be my cover. And what I'm going to do is put it in here like this and glue it on the inside of this like that, so that I have this to be nice and stiff, but I don't want it to add more bulk. So I'm going to take out the pages, maybe one at a time. Here, I'm going to take the rest of the magazine, this is the part that I cut off. So I'll put that down behind it so that that'll sit on there. And then I can put that down there and have something to pull against. another page or two. There. And I'm going to take my my box knife. This is actually an Olfa blade. An Olfa. And I'm just going to leave a tiny, tiny little hair out so I can get these little wee edges right here. Like that. Let me get rid of these. I'm barely pushing on this. There. I just want it to be clean along here. There. Okay. Now, does that fit in there nicely? And it does. If there's any sticking out on here after I glue it, I'm going to put this is one of the good side, I think. There. So I have my Mod Podge. I have a little foam brush. And I'm going to, I may as well set this right in here. Like that. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to set this in here like this. So I'm going to put the Mod Podge on this side. That way I have this neutral on the other side. And this will probably curl, because anytime you put a wet medium to any kind of a paper product, it curls. So the quicker I get it in here and that piece glued to it, the less I have to deal with that. There. There, that's pretty good, I think. Okay, now I don't want this to be a shiny cover. So I have a napkin. Isn't that cool, napkin? I've already used this napkin for a project. So just one panel of it. But it still has the backing on it because I haven't taken the backing off. And I'm wondering what it would look like if I use the backing of, see what I did there? A little bit of Mod Podge, a little bit of sticky on my thumb and my finger. I can't even remember where I saw it, but I just saw that. You already have your Mod Podge out when you're going to do a napkin, and that helps you to get rid of that. So, yeah, once that's Mod Podged onto the front of that, that's going to mute this, and I'll be able to see through it still. Oh, yes, that's going to be really cool. So I don't need all of this. I'm just going to clip a little bit this way. So it's all fun and games, guys. It's all fun and games. You just play with things and see how it's going to turn out. I'm not putting a heavy coat on here because I'll put a coat over top when I'm done. I just want to glue this down. I thought I heard somebody knock on my door, but there's nobody out there, so there. So now I'm just going to very carefully just lay this down like that, and I'm going to grab a card, something soft maybe even my fingers, and I'm just going to brush this out. And of course it's going to create a few wrinkles. It always does. I'm not being really careful to get the wrinkles out either this time. I can take that big one out though. And I'm gonna, oh, that's not quite down, a little bit there. So it's down everywhere, I think. I'm going to let it dry. Then I'm going to go over it with another coat. That'll dry in just minutes. Then I'm going to go over it with another coat, and then I'm going to take the excess off, or I'm going to wrap it around. And in this case, I may take the excess off here and wrap it around. I might do that. I may cut that there, like that, and up here as well, cut this on the angle, on the corner, and then open this up, and I may just wrap this around and let it dry, because then that's going to give me an edge up here. It's going to give me a finished edge. So I'm just going to do that. Told you, this is just, I'm just making this up as I go along, guys. Okay, now I'm just going to leave this for a minute. So this is dry. And once it was dry, I went back and put another coat of Mod Podge over the top, a nice thick coat to let it dry to protect this cover. And I love this front cover. I love the muted tones of it, but it has that same picture that was on the front of the magazine. So when that was dry, I actually went and I added a piece of cardboard to the inside back cover, and that's all I've done. This one isn't quite dry yet, but that's okay. I have some packing tape. No, this isn't packing tape. What is this? It's called Canadian Technical Tape. I don't know where I got it. I pick up sometimes boxes of stuff at yard sales, but this is really strong and thick, and I'm going to cut a piece that is exactly the length of my book. Exactly the length of my book. There. So I just made a little nick, and then this is going to go on here. I've used this before to reinforce the spine of a journal, and it worked really, really well. And once that's down, it's down really good. You just have to make sure you burnish it down really well. And then I'm going to go tight around my spine of my book and around the other side. Then when I cover, I'm going to cover right over top of this. I really don't want the white to show. I left the white showing on the other one, but I really don't want the white to show. I'm going to bring the paper cover right around to here, but this is going to reinforce my spine. Whoops, it's making that really stiff, so I'm going to have to fold that down. There. So maybe I need to do the inside of this first. I have, instead of regular paper for this, I was thinking, I picked this up at a thrift shop for $2. And it has some of the most fantastic, I should actually be using it, but it's heavy paper. It's an, oh, look at this, guys. Look at this. I think I'm going to glue this here as far as it'll go, and then go from here and put a piece up here. I don't care if it's mismatched, but this is really pretty. This is really pretty. So, yeah, I'm just kind of, you know, winging it here now, guys. So that's why this is not a tutorial video, because I'm not teaching you guys how to do anything, that's for sure. I'm just trying to figure it out myself. But this is good heavy paper that's in that what is it called? It's a primer, a design primer for doing perennial flower beds. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I need to take this in. I should have cut that down maybe a hair more. It's almost sticking out. Almost sticking out. So, just a hair off that. Well, the dog and I just came back in and he's at the front door looking out again. Okay, that's better. There's just a hair of that edge showing. And that's why I wanted this neutral here, because yeah, that's good. So my Tombow glue, I may have to go up into the craft shelf and get a new one soon, but I'm going to use this instead of my Podge to glue this down. And the reason being, I love this for paper crafting. Absolutely love this for paper crafting. I love that it's got this spreader on here. But I also love this because it dries hard. And when it dries hard, it gives substance to the paper. I just need a piece of, yeah. There. And although this is a wet glue, it doesn't seem to warp and bubble the paper as much as some other glues do. So, I'm going to put it across here. Now on this part right here, I want it to go right in here. Right in. Like that. It's going to create a wrinkle. I thought it might. see if I can get it in there. So all I'm doing, so that you can see, is trying to keep that crease out, but allow this to fold over and be the inside there. Which I think I've done. And then I'm going to glue this down to this page. There. And this will go back down. I'll put something heavy on this. This is going to curl and warp as I get each side of this wet, and because it's cardboard. Depending on what side of it's wet, it'll curl whatever which way. But it comes back. It comes back. So now I'm going to cover the rest of this page with, just with this, like that. Maybe I'll get another picture completely and put it on this page. Because I can. Let's see what I can find in here. I love these hostas. This is kind of neat. Just this note about what's your style from Nan's notebook. I wonder if I can put that in there. There's some roses on the other side, but I think that's kind of neat. And because it's a glue book as well, why can't it be, yeah, why can't it be something like this? It doesn't have to be the whole thing. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put that up there. Grab my paper trimmer. I want it to go just a little past the green. Just a little past the green. Like that. That's pretty close. I'm going to do a little bit more. I'm going to take that extra little bit of white writing off. Just like that. It's actually pulling, because I glued this around here like this, it's actually pulling that other page in a little bit. But I think that's going to happen with doing this style of a book from a magazine. There. And I'm going to take my pencil and do a little mark right there. Oops. Just a little mark right there and make another cut. So that should fit pretty good now. So I'm going to glue that up and put that on that page. And then, now, what's your, it says, if you're still not sure what kind of perennial garden you'd be happy with, you know, and it's just a little kind of a notation about perennial gardens. Gosh. Oh, gosh, that's so pretty too, isn't it? Do I want a notation or do I just want more flowers? I have a thing for flowers, but I think this is kind of neat that I still retain some of the magazine. So that's what I'm going to do. There. And I'm going to do it this way. Like this. like that. Yeah, I like that. I like that. And that's it. That's all I'm going to show you in this video. I'm going to come back, and in the second part of this, I'll show you how I'm going to turn these into, so how many pages were in here? There was 150 pages in this book. I'm just going to use these pages, and it'll be tearing some out and leaving some in, and yeah. So that's all I'm going to show you today, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified for when the next part of this video comes up. And bye-bye for now.